Oh shit. Okay, it's starting now. Alright.
This might be the best one yet. Did it say game mode? Everybody run!
A very strong focus on quality of life.
I found Dead by Daylight and instantly it became a home.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
I think we did a pretty good job so far.
To DBD and Matt, I don't know if you know this. We've gone back to the archives, not those
Hit
archives.
with the spring trap on,
Our
or the
archives.
spring trap mask.
We've gone
right
back to
there.
our archives. Calm down. And we
not
found
gonna
a little
say
clip
anything.
of Matt from the very first one.
Halloween was the very first time we brought in some legends of horror. Many more followed after that.
Yeah, Leatherface, Chucky, Alien.
Ghostface, Stranger Things,
We need to add Terminator.
and on and
Add
on.
Yes.
T800
And on it rolls.
or something.
Yeah, one of the big milestones for being able to work with these people.
I really
to
don't
create
think it's gonna be
something
Springtrap.
in our game that they were proud of, that they thought their fans would enjoy, was so validating and humbling, honestly.
With Jose and Justin to talk about the upcoming content roadmap, as well as quality of life.
I haven't seen this yet, I don't think.
I got you. You're gonna be all right.
Steady pulse.
This cannot possibly be real. My name is Aurella. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Who they are today, but you guys are gonna love
It's
it.
not
for
going to be
sure.
Springtrap.
And then
I know
finally,
it's
we're gonna
not going to
end
be
the summer
Springtrap.
with an
It's not
original
going to
chapter,
be.
the first one of the
Maybe it's
year.
Liam. I heard.
It's going to be on one of our favorite themes,
Okay, never
which is
mind.
folklore.
I'm not gonna
Asian
say
horror
anything about-
folklore specifically.
I'm
It's
gonna
gonna
let the
be one of
thing
the
play.
most gruesome chapters
no
we've
way
ever
it's not
released, so
gonna
we
be cha-
cannot wait to get it into your hands.
Springtrap.
It's messy. It's gory.
Very messy.
I would
we
very
will
much like
close out the year
Terminator.
with one big license.
I think some people here want to hear about Five Nights at Freddy's.
This kid with the Springtrap
So
map,
we
he
are
doesn't
going to
know.
let that happen.
He doesn't know.
And,
It's
bring
not
out
going to be
Dave
Springtrap.
and
There's
Matt
no way.
to tell you all about it. Thank
If
you,
it's
everybody.
Springtrap, I'm going to lose everything. If it's Springtrap, I'm going to lose everything. All my credibility is gone. It's all gone. There's no way. There's no way. Here it is, the moment of truth. Am I dead wrong?
Hello, PAX! You want out of licenses and
Fuck.
content.
No.
And we listen
No,
to
you're
it.
not gonna do
And,
Springtrap.
Five Nights at Freddy's has been the top of the list for the longest time.
Yep.
So finally, it's here.
So what are we doing with Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, okay, so let's start and reveal our new killer.
Yeah.
Let's show that bad boy.
No. I was wrong. There's no way. Well, the question is this Five Nights at Freddy's 3 Springtrap, or is this a different variation?
The series.
Does Scott
And
Cawthon
for the
object?
first time ever, you'll be able to be
That's what I
in
wanna
the
know.
suit. Isn't that
I can't
the
believe they did that.
universe
That's the
of,
first time
Five
that's
Nights at
ever
Freddy's?
happened with Five Nights at Freddy's IP.
Yes. Now, one of the other ways
Scott
that we
Cawthon
like
has
to bring
never used the
authenticity
character like
to
that,
the content
or an
we create
animatronic.
is with cosmetics, of course.
Fuck,
And there
I was
are going to
wrong.
be a few really cool ones as we release this, but there's one we absolutely need to talk about today. A legendary outfit.
He has a one-handed bladed weapon.
Of course,
Interesting.
you may have face in the game, but
I
he
was
was
wrong.
nice enough to record all the voiceover for the characters.
I was wrong. I'm usually not wrong
That's
about
exactly
things like
what I
this.
said when I heard that.
I predicted a lot of things that would happen in the future of this game.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. I do the stupidest thing ever. The way I get into this thing is I do like an ape thing. So hold on a sec. Ollie, Ollie, oxen free. Ollie, Ollie, oxen free. Ready or not, here I come.
Fun.
E is such a cool guy.
Bullshit.
So instead of looking at it through camera, you're actually going to walk in it. And it's filled with Easter eggs, surprise.
I was wrong. I was actually wrong. I'm sure Scott Cawthon had a very different idea for what to do.
What is it we're removing?
I'm
We're
like,
removing the map?
I'm
No?
so
Okay.
like sure
I
that he
couldn't
had
hear
a
backstage.
very different idea.
So Five Nights at Freddy's, huh? Wow. Why don't we dive in because this show is.
I
running
guess I'm
by
just the
us
crazy
very
person
quickly.
then. I'm
So
just
speaking
the,
of very quickly, I
I'm
want
just
to
crazy.
remind people or let people.
Why did they bother
Cosmetics,
going
sorry for
so
shouting.
hard cracking down on leaks?
So there's
if
a
they weren't
really
planning on revealing something
exciting
very
one,
grand?
Rose, that taps into maybe a video game
I don't know.
relevant audience.
That's weird to me.
So,
what really,
as you guys might already
what really
know,
made me
we
think
love dark
that they
fantasy
were
and
gonna
Dead by
do
Daylight. As you can tell from our
Springtrap was
Fortune
because they
Fog and
really didn't want anything
Dungeons
with
and
leaks to get
Dragons
out there.
chapters. Now we're
So I
super
thought that was a
thrilled to
really
be
good
inviting
indicator that they were
another
going to do something that the fan
incredible
base might
fantasy
not
world into the world of Dead
have
by
approved of, so they
Daylight
wanted to do a
with-
surprise. When's
And
Dead
that's
by
not
Daylight
all.
X
In
Terminator?
this collection,
When?
we also
Dead
have
by
very
Daylight
rare
X Terminator.
outfits for Yennefer.
The Witcher. That's not going to happen in our game.
Everyone knows I'm wrong,
The
everyone.
entity doesn't want him to have kind of a.
Suppressive
Everyone knows, the entire
all
world
around
knows I was wrong
Yeah, so
now.
in case people were wondering.
The entire world.
Okay, so tall guy, big
It's
bushy
not
eyebrows
past Dead by
back in the
Daylight
day.
to make a killer that's
he did a
not
TV show
technically from
with the,
the
Boulet brothers
crossover,
called
'cause
Dragula.
Forged in Steel
And
had
they
the
did a Dead by
Knight,
Daylight
who's not a
themed
For Honor
episode,
character,
which was
and neither
freaking
is
cool,
the
and
other
why
three.
not turn it around and now bring them into Dead by Daylight?
The other three
Yeah,
Knights.
it was super cool. I'm jealous of Matt.
It's not a
but they
For
also
Honor
have
character.
a
I'm pretty
video
sure
to
that
talk
was
to
a.
us about
I
it.
like night.
right.
That was a For Honor crossover. I'm like, sorry.
And our first foray
People
into
are
that
shit
is
talking
with
me
an
online.
amazing cool little game, and it's called It Has
Why?
My Face. Not my face, don't worry.
Why?
So it is a first-person
Wrong.
roguelite.
I
set in
can't
a
believe I was
dystopian
wrong.
City, and
I
within
can't
the city, you have
believe
to
it.
find and kill your own clone.
This is okay. They're gonna do
If
something.
the clone doesn't kill
okay,
you first.
No, that's copium.
It Has My
It's
Face
probably
started as a
Five
game
Nights at
jam
Freddy's
creation
3 Springtrap.
by
If it's
Nightlight
something
Studios,
different,
which is two people.
you know, if it-
And
if
in
it's
fact,
something
they
different,
have,
that would be
recorded a little
something
message for us
I
today
stated
just
I was
to
open to that
introduce
idea.
themselves. So let's go to that.
I really didn't think
Hello
it'd be Five
everyone,
Nights at
I am
Freddy's 3
Salih,
Springtrap. though.
founder of Nightbite Games and the lead developer of It Has My Face.
I don't think they
The
did
game
something different
actually
now.
started
Though.
as a
I
jam
don't.
game around a team of clones.
Wow,
Matt's making his way out
merchandise.
here. You can maybe still get some. So it's not this one, the merch down at the booth, but that's selling out fast. And this
It was Springtrap. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. I really didn't think they would do Springtrap. I really thought that what would happen was Scott Cawthon would do what he normally does, which is he creates a new game, and the villain of the game is usually never the same as the villain in the first one, and we can see that with a lot of these Five Nights at Freddy's games that he makes. He doesn't really like to recycle characters. He likes to really create these new enemies for people to encounter. A good example of this would be Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy. You had the classic four. And then in the second game, you get these withered variations of these characters. Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, except for they're all withered. Then you got the toy variations. So Toy Freddy, Toy Chica, Toy Bonnie. And a new unique character, Mangle, which was obviously it's a iteration of Toy Foxy. That's kind of like it's not labeled as Toy Foxy, but it's labeled as Mangle because of how it's been torn apart and put back together multiple times. And then you also had the puppet or the marionette, which was another unique enemy. Then you went to Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and you have Springtrap, which is the main antagonist. And this is, you know, it's Golden Bonnie, it's Spring Bonnie, and from Fredbear's Family Diner, and this also established characters like Fredbear. And then you have Five Nights at Freddy's 4, which includes characters like Nightmare, Fredbear, on top of the Nightmare animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, of course. And then you get to the fifth game, Sister Location. You got that's a wired video that I don't want to play. You got Funtime Foxy. You got Ballora. You got Circus Baby, and just the more the games go on, we don't really see a reuse of characters. Even when we go to games that are sort of offshoots that are not a part of the official gameplay loop, like let's think of Security Breach. These were characters that were you had Glamrock Freddy, you had Roxanne Wolf, you had the alligator, I forget his name. You had all these characters who did not appear previously. Every single time Scott Cawthon did something with his IP, it seemed to be unique. But this was like, even like, let's think about the VR game. You had Glitch Trap, which was unique to that too. All these aspects were very unique to Five Nights at Freddy's, is that he would never really use the same character twice. And then you also have, you know, them cracking down on leaks. They really didn't want people to leak things as Five Nights at Freddy's came around the corner. I thought the only answer at that point was the animatronic couldn't be or the crossover character couldn't be Springtrap. I came to that conclusion. I was very adamant that it would not be Springtrap, and that he would Scott Cawthon would throw in a new character or a new version of Springtrap, which that's still possible. I'm not open. I don't think that is the case. I think that just Five Nights at Freddy's 3 Springtrap is going to be the killer. It could be like a variation of like Burn Trap or something like that that we know from Security Breach or something like that. But I think really what's gonna be the case is that it's just gonna be Five Nights at Freddy's 3 Springtrap, and I really didn't expect that because Scott Cawthon never really does that. The closest thing we have to Scott Cawthon reusing his characters is in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which doesn't follow the same plot line as most of the games do at all. It has its own unique storyline, and even how Springtrap comes to be is very different than how we see it in the game. It's a very different process. But yeah, it looks like I was wrong. It looks like we're gonna get Springtrap for Five Nights at Freddy's, and honestly, this is probably for the better. This is probably the better decision for Behavior to do. I think that if Scott Cawthon made a new animatronic, a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's fans would be skeptical. They would they would take it with a grain of salt. They would probably feel betrayed. They understand that, you know, they wanted Springtrap a lot. They thought it would be a very perfect sort of crossover. It would fit seamlessly, but you know, then they realize that they don't get what they want, and the people become opposed to it. But it's not what it seems like what's happening this time. It seems like we're just gonna get Springtrap and that's it, along with the new map. I'm very excited to see how they use his power and how survivors and the killer gets to interact, and I can't wait to see things like the bottle in all its glory, all the animations they have, the voice acting, because let's be honest, he's gonna have some voice lines. Because the guy was voicing the character for the skin, so I'm sure he'll have voice lines. The sound design is gonna be great. The soundtrack is gonna be great. I'm sure that all these things are gonna be very nice. And you know, after God knows how long, we finally got Five Nights at Freddy's X Dead by Daylight official, and we have proof of concepts of 3D renders and stuff like that. A trailer, we have the card, we have all that stuff. And I don't know. I was wrong. I'm not disappointed. I'm just wrong. All I am, I'm not disappointed. I'm only wrong. That's all there is to it. And you know, I had an out there theory, and extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and it looks like I didn't have enough evidence to back it up. And I don't know. That's all there is to it. I'm sure most of you out there are very happy I was wrong. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna stop yapping.